Scorpio, December 2021. All right. Give me a second. Currently, there are some confusing things going on in your life. Maybe it seems that there might be some secretive things going on. Things that aren't all what they seem. And what's helping you in this situation is that you can smell it and that you are watching carefully. And you're not one to just lay down and take it. Scorpio's sting. If this happens to be maybe you're not seeing yourself very clearly, which it very well could. It could be that you may feel like I don't know if I care to continue on that one. The tangent I was going on is coming up with a block. Maybe it will come back to me. I see her staring into her sword, this Queen of Swords. And almost seeing the moon's reflection in her sword. The light from the moon. It's as if you're being quiet about what you're seeing, or have the wisdom to know what you're not seeing. And by that I mean you may have some psychic inkling, which wouldn't be uncommon for you, about something that's going on in your present day. And that something is a little more, there's a little more depth to it. There's something going on. And you're not one to take people's lies lightly. You know, you don't let people walk all over you. If this is a person in your life, they're a great detective. If this is you, you're a great detective. You may be very psychic as well. If you have been into scrying, you may be able to really see what's been going on under the surface of something. That just your subconscious mind may be very brought up to the top of the well. It might just float right on up to you. This is somebody, if it is a person, that may be helping you see through some disillusionment, some facade, a veil that someone's either created or that a situation has created, to get a better understanding. This person would probably be represented as a woman who has fought battles, or a divine feminine energy. Could be masculine or feminine. Doesn't really matter. But in the card, it's a woman, and so that's why I talk about it that way. She is very wise because she's been through a lot in her life, and she's ready to cut what doesn't serve her anymore. Cut out the bull, basically. She wears a crown of thorns because she is in tune with the universe. Her crown chakra is completely open, and she is receptive to what information one could give her. She doesn't take prisoners, I will say that. In the past, you may have felt very unable to move. Fear was holding you back from making a decision, as well as a lack of clarity. And your thoughts were blocking you from moving forward in your life. But you released yourself from that. You found a way out of that. Whether it was depression. I keep seeing her with the blindfold on, and it's as if you cut it off. And now you can see what you couldn't before. And you are wiser for it. In the future, I see this wisdom blossoming within you by going off on your own in a metaphorical or a physical sense, doesn't matter. but taking the time to go within. And process what you've learned. And maybe to learn even more about yourself through this process. There is a sense of really taking a sabbatical from the day-to-day hustle and bustle, or the constant barraging of information, and needing to be in your own energy and to find your own inner light and not have it muddled by the noise or opinions of the outside world. There is a detail-oriented aspect to this, where you are compartmentalizing what you truly value in terms of philosophy of life. And it seems that this news that you smelled from prior has almost set you free from worry, because now you know. You have enough clarity within you to never mind the tangible physical evidence. You don't need the evidence all the time. Sometimes we just need to know how we feel. And in doing that, we can rationalize or irrationalize what we believe. The hermit takes the time to understand himself in order to move along his spiritual journey. Now, I see you consciously not wanting to communicate at this time. You may not want to be barraged with a bunch of messages. You may put that phone down for a few days, or however long, but I see you not making contact or communication with a specific person, a specific group, or just in general. You may be focusing on what you want to do at this time. And that is your goal, to not be so distracted or bombarded with messages from other people. If this is something spiritual, I see you maybe wanting to take a break for a little while and just not be so psychically involved for a minute so you can understand if some kind of psychic revelation has happened to you, how to process it and deal with it in your own human way. As a spiritual being, sometimes we can be overwhelmed by, we're just in a physical body, we have a mundane existence. Sometimes that existence doesn't really make room for us to deal with so many spiritual things consciously. And so, right now, to process this situation, you might be saying, no more. I just need to take care of what I need to take care of, which is processing your life and your journey up until this point, and understanding yourself and where you're going. At the bottom of this, at the bottom of your mind, deep down, you feel like there's a loss of what could have been an emotional new beginning for you. Or a delay in it. There's still love. You still have love, but you just don't know what to do with it. So you may feel like you've invested a little bit more than you're getting back in terms of reciprocity of emotion. I feel like there is a lot of emotion over this situation, whether it's a releasing of anxiety or a bit of disappointment that you're just not ready to deal with. So you push it down. And there's nothing wrong with how we process things, as long as we know that eventually we will need to take the time to go within and take care of ourselves and our soul. And we do that by understanding where we've been, what we liked about it, what we didn't, what worked out, what didn't, and what that means to us. And the Hermit card is really what does that mean to me? And what is out there? And how can I shine a light from within? What can I get from this experience? The moon shines a light, but it doesn't shine it on its own. It reflects it. And so it's almost like your sunshine has been it's like you're trying to bottle it up. It's like you're trying to get what you can out of this situation in terms of what feel like it's secondhand, almost, this light. Like the sun gives it off, but the moon just reflects it. And it shines down only on the spots that it can reach. And when times are dark or cloudy and you can't see, it's best to have a light. And the hermit shines a light from within and knows that that light is also without him. It is outside of him, it is inside of him. It is above, it is below. He finds the wisdom of that particular path he's on, because he's taken the time to get quiet to the point where he can only barely hear himself. And from that point, he knows himself. The Queen of Swords knows herself from her past experiences. Typically, she remembers the trying times and what it took to get through them, and learns through every situation she's been through. So you may need to go within after having dealt with a situation that probably was a bit scorning, you know. It's not necessarily the case, but you may need to shine a light on your own internal world right now. And if this has to do with any mental health issue, taking care of yourself is so important, because it can really help us to know ourselves and know where our feelings are coming from. The Queen of Swords doesn't show her feelings as much as the Queen of Cups would necessarily. But the Queen of Cups is what you are, Scorpio. You are a water sign. But she does sting. The Queen of Swords does sting. And sometimes we're human, you know, and maybe we don't have all the information, but we need to just take time before we decide on exactly where to put something. And I think that is what you're doing in the future, in the near future. Maybe something has been taking a lot longer than you would have liked, and maybe there was some kind of disappointment along the road that made you realize that there was a lot of invested time in this, and you're just not sure if it's ever going to pan out. And so you go on a pilgrimage. Now, your advice is to let go of any attachments that may be restricting you at this time. Addictions, codependent relationships, anything that once was very exciting, that has become a stuck pattern, that has grown stagnant or made you fearful, or like you don't have any self-discipline or control. It's asking you to break that chain and let go of anything that would be detrimental to your well-being or your personal sense of self and freedom. So not being chained to things that aren't good for us. And it seems in the past you've tried and you started to get there. You started to free yourself from something that was keeping you stuck and depressed. And that's all you can really hope for when you get to that point of I'm dealing with something that's really hard to break, you know. It's saying, flip it. You're doing the right thing by letting it go. And that could be just fears. You might be very fearful at this time of how things are going to go. Let it all go. Don't hold on to anything that's not good for you. Speaking of the Queen of Cups, others see you as being maybe emotionally withdrawn at this time. You're normally pretty compassionate, but you may be a little more babying yourself at this time. And that's fine. Being preoccupied with your inner emotional world is totally fine and healthy at times. And taking the steps needed to be able to get where you want to go. Maybe you're getting a little bit more bullheaded about it. Maybe you're feeling a little more like, all right, I'm going to do this emotional inner work, but I'm going to take my time and I'm not going to rush it, and I'm going to be compassionate for myself. You know, I'm going to take the time to heal this trauma bond / addiction / intrapersonal qualm with myself. And, of course, my external world. Because so within, so without. I'm taking the time to get the clarity you couldn't see before, but somehow you managed to get yourself out of a situation, or you started to. Now you can see. You got the blindfold off. It's dark, but you're using the light of the sun reflected off of the moon to see the situation clearly. And it's reflecting. You're taking that wisdom from the past and you are using it to enrich your spiritual inner world. You very well may be doing, people might see you as very psychic this month. If you do the tarot, that would be cool. I think you would really be good at it. Most water signs are very intuitive And I see, like, there's hope. You know, you have hope now. It's almost like you caught a falling star and you just can't believe it. Like you almost didn't think it was possible. And now you have this beautiful emotional well, and you're just able to start to realize that you need to let go of certain things in order to move forward. And taking your time is okay with that. Taking the time to offer your cup of love again is okay. If this is a romantic situation, people might see you as a little bit timid with making friends, with offering up, making romantic offers or accepting romantic offers at this time. And that is fine. You don't need to be on anybody else's page but your own. You hope that you will be victorious in obtaining this ability to choose, ability to understand completely the situation at hand. You hope for the truth. You want whatever has been hidden to come forward and be not only someone's truth, but universal truth. You want it to be true for everyone involved. You want that wisdom. And you want to have clarity on something that you just couldn't see before, but you knew it was there because you had the intuition and you felt the niggling, and you really deserve the truth at this point. Whether that's, maybe it's not coming out of the mouth of somebody, but maybe it's just a truth of what you truly believe, that you have been confused about it, In the future, I see you maybe taking some time out from a situation, not wanting to put any more effort into it because you've already put in so much effort into it. Maybe somebody makes an offer that's a little bit immature, or that doesn't come with as much grace in the situation as you would like. Or maybe you decide that your offer of love is not working anymore, or you understand it to not be working anymore. And you decide that you are going to do the take it or leave it thing. I think that what hasn't been producing the results that you want may have been disappointing, but you're no longer willing to put in so much effort anymore. And you're just going to give your cup, give your emotional world to somebody a little more mature, and you're going to walk away from what you have loved in the past in order to make way for something that's more fulfilling. And I see I think that maybe at the eclipse in November, there was a hint of this. Some news came into your life about this, but that's just an inkling I have. There is a lot of psychic ability here too. If it's not about love, if it's not about beliefs, your own personal philosophies and beliefs, there's just a quieting, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're talking pretty spiritual cards. 8 spiritual cards. Whatever you're doing, Scorpio, whatever you're dealing with, it's going to be good. I know it doesn't sound like it right now, but it seems like you're very in your element. And you've got the strength and wisdom and the love backing you. And I think that whenever you decide for yourself that you've been exhausted with waiting for something to come through that you still do care about, but maybe it isn't what you hoped it would be, and you're tired of waiting for it to be what you hope it would be, whether that's, any fill in the blank. It could be anything in your life, but I think you'll walk away from it knowing that you gave it your all, at least up until this point, and you're ready for something that makes you feel much more satisfied. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Have a good December, and I'll see you in January.